Well, g'day. My name's Matt Gees, and I'm brand new to this parish in Childers. I'm going to be working here for a little while with Father Jack and the leadership team on missions and engagement. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get out across the parish and meet you where you are. Today in Childers at Sacred Heart Church, it's been a massive day engaging with both St Joseph's Primary School and St Mary's Catholic Primary School from Maryborough. It's a faith formation day for these schools, and we've had the privilege of meeting an amazing musician who's come up from the deep south and shared her faith, but also her gifts of music with us. Jen, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself because it's much easier than me trying to explain who you are and what you do. So tell us a little bit about, firstly, your name and where you're from, but also what drives you to do what you do as a muso?
Thank you so much. Well, I have trouble explaining myself too, so that's fair enough. So my name is Genevieve. Gen Bryant is what I am now known as around Australia. I've been told I'm a bit of a unicorn. I have created a way of using my gifts in music, my love and passion for young people, and especially connecting those two things and bringing young people into a journey and being able to use music to express faith and to create spaces where I suppose it's okay to express your faith. And so I've been working with young people all across Australia for, dare I say, almost 20 years now, which sounds crazy. So it's been quite a journey, and I'm honestly inspired to keep going by days like this and having a church almost full of young people who are witnessing faith in a different way by using the gift of music to really draw hearts together, to draw voices together. It's such a celebration. To be able to be at the front of it is terrifying, and as you saw, got bombarded at the breaks with signatures and all those crazy things. But there's just a joy in our young people, and being able to share that together on days like today is just incredible. It's hard work. I'm exhausted. I don't know if I look exhausted, but I'm exhausted. But there's so much hope in these young people.
Now, Jen, when you think about your journey through your faith and through music, you shared a little bit of that with the youth today, and I'm sure you'll be able to share some of that with the rest of the parish this weekend as you engage slightly differently through music and through story. What is it that you think led you to here from someone who obviously loves the music, but you've also come out into a ministry role? Because it's not just about coming up and playing. You're not just here to perform. You're teaching, you're storytelling. It's all encompassing. So what kind of led you on that journey?
Great question. I think about that all the time, and I ask that question, why me? Why am I doing this? But I think there's always been a deep sense of, I want to say, urgency. As soon as my eyes were opened at a really young age, probably from 16, I started to pay more attention about the fact that I was playing music at Mass, but when I looked around at my parish, beautiful parish, but I looked around and I thought, well, I love this. I'm starting to really love doing this. But if I am here, when I become an old lady and I'm on the organ still in however many years, who else is going to be here? Because right now, I couldn't see many young people. So I was really curious very early on. And once I finished uni, I was a little bit lost and didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do too many things. So I sort of went out on an adventure. And I actually came up to the Gold Coast as part of a bit of a tour to try and see what else is happening. Was it just my parish? Was it just Melbourne? Where are all the young people? That was my question. And we're talking, this is, 2004 or 5 or something like that, okay. Quite a while ago. And so that was my question back then, that many others had asked already, and I'm still here, I suppose, in St. Mary of the Cross MacKillop way. She's a big inspiration for me. I see the need, and I'm trying to do something about it in my own way as much as I can. So.
Now, one of the highlights that you shared with the youth today was a bit of a journey to a far-off, distant country. Just a few years ago, a place called Portugal. Maybe you've heard of it, but it was a very touching experience for you. And from the way I hear you talk about it, you could almost say it wasn't so much life-changing, but life-affirming. I think, from the way you've spoken about your journey to World Youth Day in 2023. So, in just a few sentences, tell us a little about that experience and what it has done to you since from going there.
Wow, life affirming. I haven't yet. I'll have to sit on those on those words. Look, it was a huge surprise. We had the invitation to come and represent Australia. And we were pretty much the only original band that played over there. So to be able to represent Australia, our country, and Melbourne, where we were from, my band's from Melbourne, we didn't actually know what opportunity we would have. We thought maybe we'll be at the front of a cafe and while people are walking past, or sort of busking style on the street. We didn't know if we were going to be singing in a church for a gathering. Maybe there was a chance of maybe getting a big crowd, but, we didn't put any pressure on ourselves. And then when the list came through of all of the events that we were part of, there were two really big ones. And, the heart started to race. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a main stage. And I remember calling some of the people on the band going, guys, I think something's happened. I don't know why they've chosen us, but I think we're actually on the main stage. I'm not sure if it's a mistake. Hang on, just don't get your hopes up. So the first thing was, I suppose we should practice.
Every musician ever.
So, and we had no idea at what time we would be given time slots. So we were able to play for a really big. I suppose it was a welcome ceremony type of. It was just before the first mass, but we were one of the last bands. I think we're the second last bands to play before the Pope arrived. Pope Francis arrived, so we were singing in front of 1.5 million people, in person. Many more online watching. So that was absolutely incredible. And 2 days later, I was also on a different stage, but this invitation was a huge shock, and I received an invitation from the official committee saying that I've been selected as the English-speaking singer for one of the songs that had been written for the arrival of Pope Francis for the final evening. So I can't even... It's... Pope Francis has been such an inspiration for me personally and for a lot of young people. And to be able to say that Pope Francis has heard me sing, that was incredible. And an opportunity that will never happen again.
Well, just finally, Jen, this weekend you're going to be engaging with the entire parish on Corpus Christi Sunday. What does that mean to you to be invited to Childers to be part of such a high feast day?
Yeah. I mean, where else would I want to be, really? Father Jack is doing a cartwheel in the background for the night. It is. Look, anytime I get an invitation to a community is a celebration for me, honestly. Being part of a feast day is, of course, extra cherry on the top, but for me, the moment is small. Sometimes I might not be back here, ever, or in a year, or sometimes there's a long time in between. So whenever I'm visiting a community, I'll make every effort to make the most of every moment. So to be able to be in the school and then with the parish community and then the wider community as well this weekend is a real blessing.
Right. Well, Jen, thanks for coming and visiting us here in the parish. I'm sure that there's going to be people who can engage with the messages that you have in your music a little bit more as they get to know you and as they get to hear some more of your music. So look out for Jen this weekend in Childers. If you want to know more about what's going on, it's very easy. Just get in touch with the parish office and find out all the details about where to be and when to be this weekend here for Corpus Christi Sunday.